Time for the 49ers Rush Podcast.
When you look at the list of 49ers Kyle Shanahan staples, whether it's like these longest tenured 49ers, they've been here since Kyle. You talk about like Kyle Juszczyk coming in 2017, drafting George Kittle. Then 2018, you get Fred Warner. And then 2019, probably the best draft year ever. Nick Bosa, Debo, Dre Greenlaw, even if you want to throw in Mitch Wisnowski. But I'm always in the back of my mind, like, you're missing one. There's one more in that 2019 era that never gets included, and that's defensive tackle Kevin Givens. He is one of the longest tenured 49ers still on the team and has contributed 4 consecutive quality years. Now, I think a big reason why he doesn't get included in that is he's not a starter. I understand that. And even his first year, he didn't really even play. So he's going into his 6th season, but it's only his 5th season accrued, right? Kind of like what the Juwan Jennings thing was, where he sat out for a whole first year, then, stepped up and played and contributed after that. Kevin Givens has just slowly climbed and made himself indispensable because Coach Kucera loves him. Absolutely loves this guy. So he comes in number 35 on our list. And with all the turnover in the defensive tackle room, Kevin Givens, that dude is still there. He's become a pillar. And back-to-back years, over 400 snaps defensively, he has achieved that status. Now, he's been with the Niners for a while. When we first did our countdown in 2022, he was number 51, kind of on that roster bubble. Last year, 38. This year, 35. It just keeps climbing. Just slow, steady growth, and he fulfills a role on this defense. Got to give credit to my man Josh, executive producer of today's show. And let's dive into Kevin Givens, who he is, what his background is, all those things. He wears jersey number 90. You see him out there. He's one of the smallest defensive tackles we have by a long shot, 6'1", 285. And he plays that undersized slasher role where he just messes stuff up. And I've always said this about Kevin Givens. He's matchup dependent. He has a good game or he has a bad game. Not a lot of average games. And, whenever he plays against those big boys, he usually does pretty good. But when he plays against smaller, more athletic teams, he loses his advantage a little bit. He's 27 years old, ran a 5.08 40. You look at his bench press reps, 32 bench press reps. That's top 87th percentile. So smaller arms, little short, stocky, fast, strong. That's what he is. His comps, Maurice Hurst, the 49ers got a type. They got the big plugger role that they call the DJ Jones role. They, the bigger guys. Then they have the small slasher role. And Maurice Hurst, Kevin Givens, those type of guys. Johnny Newton, who was drafted this year. I know a lot of Niners fans liked him. Ed Oliver, Grady Jarrett. Those are guys that he comps out with on mockdraftable.com. Now, excuse me, born and raised in Newark, New Jersey. Went to Altoona High School, the Mountain Lions. Went to Penn State, so he was an East Coast guy before he joined the Niners. 3-star recruit there, majored in criminology, all those things. And kind of, again, versatile is just what he's been. Was a defensive end and fullback in high school. And as a senior, first team All-State on defense and rushed for, over 300 yards as a fullback, 6 touchdowns, which is awesome. And just kind of continued to grow. Goes to Penn State, played with a lot of quality defensive ends and put out a lot of different stuff. He received the Jim O'Hara Award for Penn State, which is given to the defensive player in Penn State for exemplary conduct, loyalty, interest, attitude, and improvement. Gotta like those things. And he's just been that guy. It's who he's been. We've had Kinlaws and Armsteads and, Buckners and all that kind of stuff. He came in the year Buckner left, but he's just been a staple. It's just what it is. Now, a rotational staple. I understand that. He's not going to start very many games and whatever. That's not what he does. But he is a developmental piece that just improves year after year after year. Now, one of the things, again, I'm always curious because, I labeled, this guy's going to work great against some teams and terrible against other teams. And you go and you just look at the snaps in the PFF grades, last year alone, he had 4 games, 72 or above. And some of those games were like high 80 games, like played awesome. And 4 games, 40 or below. He's either great or he's bad. It's just what it is. He just gets the job done, and he's out there. Now, the pass rush is kind of why he will be in the NFL for a long time, because he can come in, if you have the depth, to just put him out there in pass rushing downs. That's kind of what he does. Does he get a lot of sacks? No, but he is a huge disruptor, and he's cheap on the contract. He's signed a 1-year, $2 million deal. So whenever you pepper the back end of your roster with guys like Kevin Givens, you're getting contribution out of value, and that's what he brings. Now, run defense, not his strength. At 285 pounds as a defensive tackle, that's somewhat to be expected. You got to put him in positions to be successful. But whenever you get stacked injuries at the defensive tackle position, and you're like, hey, Kevin Givens, you're supposed to be our pass rush guy, you got to go out there and hold down against duo and double teams. He'll do it. He just won't do it well. PFF grades last year, 56.9 overall. It's what you're getting with a $2 million a year player. 46.5 grade against run, that's bad. 67.1 against pass rush, that's great. 57.6 special teams, that's solid. For you get what you pay for, right? He's got his trait. And I always used to remember, like at our coaching meetings when we're personnelling all these players, it's like, what can he do? Oh, coach, this guy can rush the passer. He can be disruptive. He can cause problems on the interior, especially for shorter quarterbacks. That's what he could do. Played against mobile quarterbacks, he's going to help you out a lot. All right, well, what do we got to watch out for? You don't want him getting double-teamed in the run game. Don't want that. It's going to go bad. Now, 458 snaps last year, 60 snaps special teams. It was his most career snaps that he's had so far, but now back-to-back years, 2022, 2023, over 400 defensive snaps. So that's a considerable chunk. He's out there getting some play time, about 40%. About 1,000 defensive snaps last year, so he's getting about 40% of those. Part of the rotation. 4 straight years with at least 13 solo run stops and double-digit pressures. Consistently just does what he does. And I know somebody's like, wait a second, solo run stops? You just said he's bad against the run. Yeah, he's good against chasing stuff down and, sometimes knifing through. But if it's a spread-type run game, he can have success. Power run game, he struggles. It's just kind of what it is. Now, undrafted free agent 2019, you look at his career, 79 tackles, 4.5 career sacks. Again, disruptor, not a finisher. 16 tackles for loss, that's pretty good. 12 quarterback hits, that's pretty good. 1 forced fumble, 2 fumble returns, 3 pass breakups. He's productive. Injuries, missed 1 game in 2021 with an ankle, missed 3 games in 2022 with a knee, played every single game last year, and signed that 1-year, $2 million, fully guaranteed. Fully guaranteed. This dude's getting every single penny of his paycheck, period. Started 13 games for the Niners in his career, 1 last year, played in 57. Now, what is the best case scenario for him? To be that number 3 defensive tackle. Him and Jordan Elliott are going to be that Bravo unit, right? You've got Hargrave and you got Malik Collins. Those are your starters. You're going to rotate them out every kind of third series, and Kevin Givens and Jordan Elliott are going to be in there. So the 49ers usually keep 6, sometimes 5 defensive tackles, so let's go through them. Hargrave, starter. Collins, starter, both locks. Elliott and Givens, that's your Bravo group, both locks. All 4 of those guys, contractually, you look at the guarantees and the deals they got, they're all making this roster. After that, it's a question mark. Kalia Davis, bigger dude. T.Y. McGill, Evan Anderson, bigger dude. Alex Barrett, hybrid guy that can kind of play everywhere. Shaquille Brown, bigger dude. Not a lot of competition here for Givens. Barrett and McGill, they're kind of the more in the Kevin Givens mold. But Kalia Davis, Evan Anderson, Shaquille Brown, that's more that DJ Jones plugger. Kevin Givens making this roster. Kevin Givens going to get a lot of snaps. If he could step his game up just a little bit, learn to anchor just a little bit, not be such a liability in the run game, which is one of my biggest question marks of the 2024 49ers. Can that defense stop the inside power run? You lost Armstead. You lost Cleveland Farrell. You lost Oren Burks. Dre Greenlaw's injured. When is he gonna come back? That's a lot of very positive run game players replaced by guys not notorious for how they play against the run. So we got to see. Kevin Givens, can you elevate your game at a time where the 49ers really need you? I hope he can. I hope he's a part of this team for a long haul. One of the longest tenure Niners, Kevin Givens. We're going to rely on you several times this year, and excited to see you play. Keep it up, number 90. And for us, we'll just keep counting them down.